To say I've got everything on.
Bruh.
Everything's good to go. And yeah, fuck it. Let's get straight into it.
Get straight into it.
I have to say, Tez, you suggested we don't get Indian. I suggested we did. I wish I listened to you.
I just gave you a friendly warning. I was just like, oh, you're going on a podcast, you can put some Indian in us, and there's going to be some toilet breaks. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's all right.
I know. Well,
Yeah.
For everyone listening, Tez and I have already been having a conversation. We just had dinner before we did the podcast, so we might pick up on some of the things that we were already saying at dinner.
Yeah.
But I have to say, dude, I really did want to have you on for a very long time. You said 111 would be a great number to do.
What?
I had to have you back. I had to have you on for 111, dude.
Cheers, brother. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I've been a fan of your podcast for a while now, and just super stoked that you're doing it. You were talking about it for a while, and then just seeing it come to life, and asking me to come on episode 111. Is that what we're doing?
That's what we're doing. 111. Yeah. Why 111? Why was episode 111 an idea?
I don't know. Yeah, just actually I do know because you hadn't done episode 111 yet, and at the time
I think I was only on episode like 30.
Yeah, was it?
The first time I asked you, I'm pretty sure.
So I just said to you, if you want a guest and you get to episode 111, I'm happy to be your 111th guest, because I guess 111's just been a thing for me, especially, that I paid attention to since back in high school, just seeing these triple ones and not really kind of knowing what it meant, but it almost felt like I was on the right path. When I did see these 111s, like I was in a band at the time, and we were going to like our show for the night, and there'd be a car that'd come up in front of us, and it'd be like 111, and then like the place that we'd get to, like the building next door would be like 111, and the time would be 111 by the time we finished our set and stuff like that. Just seeing 111s everywhere, and then looking into it and understanding what it meant that it's an angel number, and that means your guardian angels are around you at that time.
Didn't expect that.
Yes, or kind of almost like a bit of a synchronicity thing happening.
Numbers are mad, dude. Numbers are mad. Weren't we just talking about numbers at dinner? Were we saying something to do with numbers, or... Nah, maybe we were. Maybe it was a conversation I was having earlier. I was listening to Joe Rogan. That's all you know. I was listening to Joe Rogan today. He was talking about 72. 72 is like a big number in the Quran. It's like a big number to represent like infinite, but they just use the number 72 so much around that. So a lot of people follow the number 72, meaning blessings and gifts. It's actually why they say when you die, you'll get gifted 72 virgins or something like that. But that just means... infinite, like huge. It doesn't actually mean 72. It's just the symbolism for what 72 means. You know? Yeah. People are superstitious with numbers, bro.
Yeah.
What's that? Have you heard that Chinese or Japanese one where they don't have like a certain floor? I think it's floor like 13 or something.
They skip the number 13. I think apparently the number 13 is it's got a bad omen to it or something along them lines. But But as much as you might skip that number for that building that doesn't have the 13th floor, I'm pretty sure it's still there.
What if they just built like a mini floor? You know what I mean? Mini couches and mini rooms and mini beds.
Little air level, right?
They full build it like, got like a lobby and they get elevators like, you know what I mean?
Skip that one in there. Wow. Numbers have been a thing. Like my wife and I, when we met, I was talking to her about 111s, and I'd stopped seeing 111s for a while. And then when I met her, I started seeing them again, and then I started telling her about them. And when she invited me over to her place, like I came out of the lift and came out to the right and walked to her apartment, and her apartment was like 113 or something like that. And the sign that was right next to her door was like apartments 111 to 116 with the arrow pointing out her front door, and was like, Oof.
Yeah, I'm in the right
So
spot.
I'm on the right path.
I'm getting lucky tonight. I liked the number 21 for a very long time. I actually went to the casino and chucked on money on 21 and I hit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. So 21. So the breakdown, there's certain numbers that don't get broken down. I think it's the number 22, the number 11. They don't get broken down, but any other double digits, you add the digits together to get your master number. So 21
Maybe
2
3.
plus 1 breaks it down to 3.
3's my number.
111 break it down to 3.
Maybe 3's my number, eh?
Maybe 3's your number.
Third marriage is the one that will work.
Maybe you'll just end up filtering it down to 3 children instead of like 33 children, or a ridiculous number we were talking about before. Damn.
Yeah, 6 boys.
6
boys, my future wives.
This
6
is what. All right, ladies, get ready. Party boys out. Party boys zone.
Well, I'll give everyone listening who doesn't know a quick little spiel about the fact that we met as I came to your tattoo studio.
Yeah.
Get tattooed multiple times, I guess, over the times now. Sat through some of my hardest tattoos for you. And I thought I've been wanting to ask for a while anyway.
Hardest is as in like most painful?
Most painful, yeah. Yeah, definitely most painful.
Yeah, and he's giving me the hardest tattoos to do as well. Just like, I just want these
bro.
to be mirrored exactly the same.
Hard for you, hard for me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right. There you go.
Oh, I just want something this big with the most amount of detail.
And I want you to mirror it, so it needs to be exactly the same on both sides.
Every tattoo I come and give you, like, I guess we're doing 2 of them.
Doing 2 of them.
Yeah.
They've been mad though. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been awesome, bro. Honestly, I love my tattoos.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to know as well what your story was getting into tattoos in the first place, bro. And to be honest, we're doing a podcast, so we may as well start a little bit earlier. Like,
yeah.
I guess a good question to start was like, were you creative before you started doing tattoos? Because you're a very creative person with your tattoo.
Yeah, cheers, man. Well, yeah, I guess I've always been a creative more than an academic. Always, yeah, just from cooking to painting to woodwork, metalwork, any of those like more hands-on type of gigs. I've always been that type of person. And yeah, getting in trouble from my parents from primary school to even going into high school, just drawing out of my comic books instead of doing my maths homework or any of that type of thing. So where do we begin, bro? Always just being into my art, doing that through high school and stuff like that, designing tattoos for friends and family, and just body modification all around. Like I got into body piercing originally at a studio over in Liverpool. And yeah, that studio ended up taking on a tattoo artist at the time, and they were merging into a tattoo studio body piercer. And the artist at the time was taken on an apprentice, took me on as an apprentice, taught me some basic things. And then my parents found out that I was working at a body piercing tattoo studio while I wasn't working at my other job. Kind of freaked out, and they were just like, "What are you doing, hanging out with bikies in a tattoo shop?
My son's a gangster."
Yeah, you know, like, what? Are you going to become a drug dealer? You're going to end up in jail? You're going to become a bikie, you know? And
what are we meant to tell your grandma? You on drugs?
I know, right? It's like, is this what we came to Australia for? For you to draw pictures? You know? Anyway, it all ended up coming back around full circle because, I ended up kind of trying to please them, got out of the body piercing tattooing gig that I was doing at the time, and went and studied computer graphics, web design, and photo imaging at college. And while I was doing that, I got stuck working retail, trying to get into the graphics industry to be able to get paid to fund life. So before I knew it, it's like, I think it was like 7 to 9 years or so that that I got stuck working retail, because from working as a casual, then they just like, oh yeah, you're doing pretty good, full-time bonus, Be like, oh, we'll offer you a shop. Like, you want to be a shop manager? Before I knew it, I'm hanging out. Yeah. Before I knew it, I've acquired debts, hanging out in Westfield Shopping Centre, looking at my life going, what am I doing? Like literally, I knew I was made for more, but didn't know how to get out of this trap that I just felt like I was stuck in. You know, one day, I know I was just sitting in Westfield's Burwood, and it was my lunch break. I'm sitting down, I'm looking around, it's just mums and prams. Just mums and prams, and I'm thinking about, like, what am I doing with my life? And at that time, like, there was a TV show called Miami Inc. that was out at the time, and my girlfriend at the time, she was just like, why don't you get back into tattooing? Like, you're into this TV show and whatever else, and this is what you were doing before. I didn't think about it at the time, but then I was just like, why don't I? Oh yeah, because I was told no, don't, and you can't. Right? Remember that conversation we were having about telling you no, don't, and you can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, she ended up actually buying me my first tattoo kit, and I was just practicing out of my garage on some practice skins, pig skins at that time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, my cousins ended up finding out that I had a tattoo machine, and they were just like, what are you practicing on pigskins for? I want to get this, I want to get that. So yeah, shout out to all the early cousins and family and friends that were getting tattooed out of the garage.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, 15 years later, man, this is what I'm still doing.
Yeah.
Like I was saying to you before, I didn't think that I'd be able to do it as a full-time gig. Thought that it would be a hobby, because I just all of my family just work full-time. Yeah, gone to uni, doing this, doing that, and whatever else. And my original plan was to be a rock star. I was supposed to be touring, I was supposed to be touring the world, making music and putting the word out there that way. But that didn't fall into place. So different form of art. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's been a like looking back, like it's been a craziest journey, hey.
Yeah.
It's been the craziest journey. There's met so many people, so many interesting people along the way. Worked with, alongside, and for some interesting people. It's certainly kind of toughened up my skin, like I was brought up in a Catholic family where everything's kind of very proper. Proper. And I feel like I was always a little bit of the black sheep of the family, going against the grain a little bit. But yeah, most creative people are, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's funny, being a kid, you wanted to grow up and be a rock star, or even teenager, whatever, you wanted to grow up, make music, tour the world, right? Yeah, and I feel like I feel like most people have had that mindset in a way. Mine's more like rapper. I wanted to be a rapper at one stage. I wanted to perform. I wanted people to hear my music. I wanted to speak and people notice. I'm reading this book at the moment called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Have you heard of that one?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't read it though. Yeah,
I've only just started it last night, or maybe the night before, so I'm not too far into it. But the chapter I paused on last night was talking about philosophers have actually believed that the most important human feeling everyone wants to feel isn't happiness, it's importance. People want to feel important. People want to be heard. They want their name on buildings like Trump, you know what I mean? Like they want to be called like Alexander the Great, you know? They want to be remembered.
They want to leave their mark somehow.
They want to leave their mark. It's just a human instinct. And I feel like being a performer is a common mindset, because you do feel important. You crave that human instinct to be heard and seen.
Yeah.
But I really feel like, and I've thought this for a long time, putting tattoos on people's body is actually so impactful, because that person carries around that thing that the artist has created on their body permanently forever for every person to see.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think there's much more impactful things in life. I think someone who architecturally designs a building or a skyscraper, that's a very similar thing. But most art is fleeting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Every art's fleeting. Everyone's going to die. Everything's going to fall down. Yeah. But how long can that thing last? There's a very big question, bro. If people who want to feel, everyone wants to feel important, but like, and I'm not saying that's why you do it, but it's just a nice thing that I think of all the time. You know, I think putting art on people's bodies, for me, my tattoos is who I am as a person. Yeah, that's a crazy thing.
It marks a bit of your journey as well, and it kind of does create a character for yourself that you're portrayed this way now as well. It can't be. It can be undone, but like the majority of people that get tattooed, they get tattooed because that's they're wanting to carry that mark on them to kind of tell a bit of a story, or to show that they are more than
flesh.
More than just the basic. And it's funny how you're talking about feeling heard or wanting to be heard, because I've been kind of going back into the reasons for why we do what we do and how we became, like, I've always been interested, even as a child, like why we think the way that we think and how we are the way that we are. And going a little bit deep here, right?
Oh, but, please. Please, bro. Start us off deep. Strong.
I was like wondering, so like having children now and stuff, and just raising my voice to be heard, because like with children, like you said something once, twice, 3 times, and sometimes you need to raise your voice.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe the reason why I like listening to heavy metal music and I guess dress the way that I dress and going through high school and dyeing my hair and getting piercings and standing out is because as a child I was kind of never heard, you know, like there's some things when I look back and like, oh yeah, I remember like that was going on in my life then, and I'd go and lock myself in, not lock myself in a room, no Harry Potter type.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I kind of, just kind of stay out of the way, because there was some things that were going on. But then also wanting to kind of just be seen or be heard by my parents or by family and friends or whatever else. So yeah, then listening to rock music or listening to heavy metal, and then kind of feeling that, oh yeah, these guys are able to kind of
express
their thoughts and their feelings through music, and they're being seen and being heard. Oh, start a band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And being able to have people sing your lyrics that you write, and wanting to kind of be able to tour the world and be on stage, not for like, look at me, but you know, to make a difference, I guess.
Yeah.
To get to all of the other people in the world that kind of feel that way too.
I think about that all the time as well, man. I love deepening as hard as I possibly. To be honest, it's a flaw that I have. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it's I feel like going under that.
That's why she left me.
Well, yeah, making sure, and also then, you know what I mean, like making sure that you don't keep doing the same shit.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're a thinker and you go deep and you realize like, oh, all right, so because of that and that equals that, and then okay, right. Make sure I'll try not to keep doing that.
I shouldn't have cheated. Yeah. Well, that's the good thing about reflection. Reflection's good to become aware, but to become aware is only good if you have intention to be better. To be better and to make the changes, you know. Otherwise, what's the point of even reflecting in the first place? And awareness is a very, very popularized topic over the last 6 months. Becoming aware of your addictions, your habits, your routines, your mannerisms, becoming aware of like the origin, the villain story, where it all went wrong, awareness. And I didn't understand why people were so interested in I didn't even understand what awareness was until recently. But yeah, awareness is a good thing because then you can identify to adjust instead of following down the same footpaths you've been going down, going down the same. This other book is the best book I can ever recommend to anyone is called The Power of Habit.
Yep.
And it basically, long story short, there's 3 things that make up any habit.
Mm-hmm.
Your cue, your routine, and your reward.
Yep.
And if you just become aware of what those 3 things are, all you do is you replace one of the 3 and you can override any habit you have. And it could be a relationship habit. It could be a biting your nails habit. It could be a alcohol, cigarettes. It could be like a getting fired. It could be anything. It could
be any toxic addiction. Yeah,
it's mad.
That's not really adding value to your life, right? Yeah, there's a pastor that I was listening to on YouTube talking about neural pathways and talking about how to work on reprogramming and recalibrating your brain. It's just like broke it down to this pathway that you walk to your letterbox, for example, and you walk across the grass. If you keep walking across the grass every day for like 100 days, you're creating a new pathway there across that grass, right? So to now let that grass grow back and create a new pathway and walk along the driveway, for example, which is the pathway that you're probably supposed to be taking instead of across the grass, then you'll regenerate and change those neural pathways.
Breaking the routine,
breaking the especially the routines that aren't adding value to your life. And if you're noticing that it's causing the same problems over and over and over. Like, yeah, you can be stubborn as fuck if you want to, and then just be like, yeah, but nah, this is me. This is me.
Yeah.
But then you're also then probably expecting a different result by doing the same thing, and it's
such a 40-year-old mindset. Eh?
Yeah.
It is,
bro.
typically, like dad. I remember every dad I ever hung around, like my mate's dad's always like, that's just who I am. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, all right. Yeah, okay.
And then
you
what?
Suck.
And then what? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why you want to drink a case of beer every night?
That's just who I am.
Just put the Band-Aids, just put these alcohol Band-Aids on everything because, like, yeah, it'll go away. No, it won't. It's not going to go away.
Yeah.
If you put 16 beers in you every night.
Yeah. I feel like it's a good metaphor too, the crossing the grass to get to the letterbox, because it's also it's opening your mind to new experiences, and new experiences creates new mindsets and new beliefs and new pathways of thinking and all this. And they reckon there's a big link, and I've said this a lot on the podcast, to be honest, since episode 1, but there's a link that they think Alzheimer's is caused from a continuous routine over time. So it's a muscle that hasn't learned to develop being memory as the muscle, because if people drive the same route to work, sit in the same chair, drive the same route home, watch the same 60 Minutes, watch the same whatever's on TV, I don't know, Home and Away.
Home and Away is still going.
Yeah, I think it's still going.
Like,
I guarantee there's people that have done that, and I bet Home and Away is 20 plus years old. Like, I bet there's people that have worked a job for the same time that's been on, and their life has been that the whole time. They reckon that's a big link towards Alzheimer's, right?
Yeah.
And those people, I guarantee, are stuck in a way of thinking, they wouldn't be, they'd be the type of people to be like, this is just me. This is who I am.
And it's probably a good excuse to kind of mask the fear of change as well, because change is scary.
Yeah,
It's just like, all right, so if I'm not doing this, then what am I supposed to do? That instead? Like, I don't know what that even is.
Yeah.
All right, how about?
That's a topic that I've been on lately, bro. Like, the feeling of, I actually have been wanting change, wanting addition, not necessarily change, wanting to add addition. And the change would be in the mundane shit I don't need or want, or just do, like, say, I might chuck on YouTube for a couple of hours a week, or I might be on my phone on Instagram or some things I can take out. I want to replace them with change. But what is change? What I don't know.
So it depends. I guess it depends on what you if you notice that you're just hanging out and you're mindlessly scrolling through Instagram to, I don't know, I guess to see what everybody's doing, or it's just become an automatic thing that you do. Every time that you think about picking up your phone to scroll through Instagram, say to yourself, instead of taking that time to scroll through Instagram, I'm going to take half an hour to journal instead. You know, pick up a pen, and that's some mindful things, because you're actually thinking. Or you might be sitting in here, switch all the lights off, and have your Doxcast light on, and that's the only light source in your room, and you're visualizing what you want your Doxcast to be.
That's a mad idea, dude.
You know what I mean? Sitting here, move everything out of the way, and just meditate on it.
That's a mad idea.
Ultimate quiet in your space. Like, you know the amount of energy that you've got in here.
Yeah.
You've had 111 episodes. You've had some conversations. Like, if these couches could talk. Anyway, you could see it all on YouTube.
Yeah, these couches have talked.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, these couches have talked, you know, like doing stuff like that are going to be adding value to your life, because that could end up being more of a practice towards procrastination, which I know you're not good at procrastinating because you're getting shit done, but you might want to be getting more done.
Yeah, I can always get more done. Yeah, I know I can get more done, bro. I've been feeling it for a while. I'm gonna play the Suki side of the argument, though, the devil's advocate against the positive version, which you're gonna be. That, like, it is easy to procrastinate. It's easy because it's like the world is so large, and I can understand why so many people don't have things that they're trying to do or work towards or go, or, you know, other than a job. Everyone's got a job, but so many people don't have anything other than a job, realistically.
Yeah. And
I get it, bro. You know, I get it, you know, because I have my thing. The podcast is my thing. I have a couple other things that are my thing outside of my job. Yeah. And then I've still got that feeling outside of that's like, I'm wasting my time. What am I doing with my life? You know, like this.
There's balance. Ultimately, there's balance, right? So being able to take that time to regenerate your mind, your energy, to be able to continue to keep giving, because this is you spending time and having these conversations with people. Like, you are giving. You're doing something more than a lot of people that are out there. Even those people that do go to work, you know, most of those people that go to work to a job, if you ask them why they do it, they'll probably tell you, because everybody, this is what I'm supposed to do now.
Yeah. How else am I meant to pay for my Netflix?
Yeah. That's it. Like, yeah, you've got to want for more, and it's not a greedy want for more. It's like you feel like you were saying before, taking it back to music and wanting to be a rapper, to be able to speak words, to be able to add value to people's lives, and be heard, be seen. You know, like there's a purpose there, and like living life with purpose, that's where the happiness lies. I feel. And it's not big bank accounts, it's not fancy cars, it's not shiny things.
Yeah,
it's living a purposeful life, bro.
Purpose. I heard someone say once, if you're looking for your purpose, find anything and do it until you get good. Find something, hang on, let me restart. Cut. Yeah. All right. I'm butchering it, but it was something along the lines of pick something up and keep picking things up until you find something interesting. Once you find something interesting, do it until you get good at it. And once you get good at it, spend all your time teaching other people how to get good at it. Yeah. And there's your purpose.
Yeah, well, that's it. Mastering it, right? Yeah. And being able to be a master at something, like there's a minimum of 50,000 hours or something, like 5 years of doing it full time. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I think purpose is completely separate from. I think purpose, and I heard Jordan Peterson say this recently too. There's absolutely no difference between responsibility and purpose. Responsibility and purpose actually have the exact same definition, result, drive, outcome, gratification. the heavier something is that you try and pick up, the more purpose you have. Like, it's your responsibility. Like, that's all purpose is. You know, raising children is a responsibility. It's a purpose. It's going to work
giving you
every
purpose.
day.
Yeah, it's giving you purpose now because, yeah, I guess they didn't exist before you put them into the world, but because now you have a purpose and now you got a responsibility. But knowing that, for a mother, for example, and knowing that her purpose is to bring little humans into the world, you know, and that's what she does. She's a mother, and that's what she does. She's not trying to be anything other than the best star. You know what I mean? Like, she's just trying to make sure that these little human beings have got ultimate love, have got always looked after, and she's given them her all. You know, yeah, bro.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the purpose conversation is something that I feel like most people are looking for in life. Do you ever feel like in your life a lack of purpose or a search for purpose was something that you were fixated on?
I'm always, I guess, like going into doing my meditations and stuff like that, and being able to be still and being able to be quiet. There's things that pop up in my overthinking brain, and yeah, I feel like ever since I was young, I've always been a giver and wanting to help people, and yeah, I feel like the latest kind of thing is what we were talking about at dinner as well, is studying psychotherapy and counseling, and ultimately wanting to add that to my tattooing.
Yeah, I remember you telling me this bear ago, bro. I thought it was one of the best ideas I've ever heard.
Yeah, so I don't know if we should be putting that up and out there, because like it's really good advertising for me, or everybody is going to jump on board.
Don't trust me, I barely get any listeners.
But yeah, tattoo therapy, man, because legit over the last 15 years not being a qualified anything, I'm just a dude that draws pictures on people. Like I didn't go to, you know,
self-deprecating.
You know what I mean? But like, it's not like I went to, it's not like I went to university and I've got a doctorate in tattooing, and you know what I mean? Like I sit with people, they tell me their ideas, I try to bring their ideas to life and put that on them.
Dude, that's a way better way to say it.
Yeah.
Way better way to say it. I'm a creative conduit.
Yeah, that's it. I'll take that. But yeah, sitting there with people like hours on end, and getting to know people on a deeper level, because there's massive responsibility, for one, as a tattooer, putting that on the client, and the client being able to give us that level of
trust, faith, you know, like complete stranger is going to let you mark them for life. It is a scary. I got to be real. I ask a lot of people this. Some people don't feel it, but me personally, it's a leap of faith.
Biggest deal, bro.
Yeah.
And there's so many tattooers out there that are just like, bro, like they need us. Like, no, we need them. Like, you know what I mean? We need the clients. We need people to come into the studio, to come and give us that leap of faith to let us mark them for life. Otherwise, like, you're not an artist. You don't have a canvas. You know what I mean? Like, you're a guy with a tattoo machine.
Yeah,
you're doing sitting around waiting for a canvas to walk through that door, you know? So, yeah, biggest deal. I still see that as the biggest deal. People literally letting us mark them for life and hoping that we're not going to fuck it up. You know?
Yeah.
And that's been one of my biggest things as well, and why I'm so, I guess, hard on myself, because like I always try to top the last tattoo that I've done, like, and I'm by far the best tattooer in, like, man, Most of my guys in the studio, if not all of the guys in the studio that I work at, are better tattooers than I am.
You reckon?
Yeah, bro.
Why am I coming to you then?
I
because
I can
tattoo.
I can tattoo, but there's, you know what I mean? Like on an artist level, I'm not really good at talking myself up, but I know that there's always going to be somebody out there that's better than you. There might be the best out there for the moment, and then because now there's the best out there, someone else pops up and it's just like, he's the new best.
Number one is a time slot.
He's the new best, you know what I mean? So never really trying to be the best tattooer in the universe, just happy to be able to do what I love doing every day, and just grateful, I guess. Grateful that I have ultimate clients. Like, my clients are the best.
They are.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. My clients are the best. Like, I have the best conversations with my clients. And going back to the tattoo therapy side of things, they ends up becoming like this mad little therapy session. And I've had tears, I've had hugs, I've had gifts given to me, I've had people messaging me afterwards and be like, man, like that tattoo session, it's literally made me feel like a weight has been lifted. People that are coming to me to get tattoos because they've gone through a divorce, their father, mother, had children have died, to someone that's lost so much weight and now, they're thin and fit to, I
bet there's like people who have lost life, life have left this world, life coming into this world, people getting things for their kids getting born. I bet there's like holidays, memories, photos. Like I guarantee you've done some shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's cool about it too? I'm not surprised that you've had these conversations. Like I bet a lot of artists haven't. You have a open mind and an interest in people as well as your art, you know, and your craft. But what's happening is I feel like there's so much emotion being involved because you have a high level of concentration and pressure to create this piece to perfection. So you're focused, like that's in heightened state of consciousness.
Yeah.
And then the guest, if I was going to talk about myself, for example, you're in a lot of pain, but you're also being given the job to perform as well. No matter how much pain you're in, the job's got to get completed, you know?
Done.
And then it's almost a point of pride, I guess. The longer you can put it off, the least amount of times you can have a break, like like all these things come into play. So there is two high levels of consciousness.
Yeah.
Not competing, but trying to work together. Which is a very rare situation to have two different states of emotion trying to cooperate, you know? There's not many things like that. There might be like comedians trying to express a passion and then an audience trying to absorb a laughter, you know? Like they're two things that work very well together. And then when you leave a comedy show, I don't know if you've ever been to a comedy show, but it's a feeling, bro.
Laughing is,
like it's a feeling. I feel like anything that involves two states of consciousnesses cooperating is a memory, is a feeling of like not exhaustion, but of like effort being put in. You know what I mean? Like so, the fact that people are opening up and having these conversations doesn't come to a surprise for me at all, dude. At all. And through doing this, is that how you got the idea of the psychotherapy thing?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to, I guess, kind of hone in on the skill of being able to actively listen to my clients and not want to try and I'm a solutions to problems kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Resignate.
You know what I mean? So someone will come in and talk to me about something that they're doing and whatever else, and they had bad sleep or they've had a shit sex life or whatever. I'm just like, because they've been with their wife or their partner for 20 years. I'm just like, why don't you just try and take it back to like when you first met and go and get a bottle of wine, and instead of just being like, oh yeah, that must be tough.
It's Tuesday,
you know, like and actually kind of understand the skill of counseling and therapy to kind of be able to, maybe that person, all they just wanted to do was speak and be heard and not have to have a solution to their problem. They probably already have that solution to their problem already, and they know what they need to do, but them speaking is a form of healing because no one else is listening to them, and they're now paying you for a service of getting tattooed and being able to kind of open up to you for a little bit. So just
oh man, I think it's such a dope idea, bro. Like honestly, like, have you ever been to speak to a professional? Like I speak to a psychologist. I think it's been it came off the back burner of me trying to get ahead of some difficult shit I was going through. I was just like, ooh, it was almost like I got hit with this. Someone just gave me a piece of paper and I went, oh shit, I'm here to speak to a professional, you know what I mean?
Somebody that
and
knows.
Then I jumped on it before I felt myself needing to go down a spiral.
Yeah.
And since going and seeing them regularly, it's been one of the most, not every session, I guess, you walk away feeling like, oh, that was amazing. But I know in the act of doing it, it's been such a beneficial tool to have in my life, you know? Yeah. What about you? You ever been to speak?
Yeah, well, funny you should say that because I just signed up to just to an app, and you can speak to therapists online or either by emails or video calls, or you can go in person, and whatever just kind of works in your timeline. I did have one session. I've been thinking about it for a while. Like my family growing up, we were just people aren't therapy. Our family aren't therapy people. We're just like Scotch people.
Yeah.
Scotch people. Speaking to a therapist, and she just asked me a few questions, and like it was just this word vomit just started
from you,
flowing out of me.
I know the feeling.
You know what I mean? Just this word vomit started flowing out of me, and she was just like, "Oh, all right, yep. So, and what about that? And how did that make you feel? And then where did it? If you were to speak to that little boy," I'm like, "Bruh."
Oh, it's crazy, eh?
She took me back there.
It's crazy,
she took me back there, and I was just like, man, I swept all of that under the rug, and that's part of what I just brought up earlier. It's like about listening to heavy metal music and wanting to be heard, and also staying out of the way type thing when shit was going down. And I was just like, wow, all right. But after that session, and it was a little hour video chat, first time I'd spoken to her, and I ultimately just felt like this. I don't feel like I'm like. I don't feel like I'm choking anymore. Like there's that.
You're sign of release, bro.
That tension in my throat, weight on my chest, kind of stiffness in my back. It's crazy the amount of tension and the amount of everything that we feel like we can hold on to, but we're not supposed to.
Yeah, just letting it out.
We're not supposed to. Yeah, we're not supposed to be holding on to any of these things, man. Because it was, and it's done. Like, you don't want to kind of disregard it like it wasn't, like all of these things that we've been through haven't kind of shaped us into the person that we are now for the good and the bad. But being able to make sure that it's not crippling, that's the part. And it doesn't spill off into relationships, especially if you dedicate your life to somebody and that's the person that you're going to be spending life with.
Not just relationships, I guess also kids as well. And I could use it to say because I'm not in a relationship now, but it's like I can be a better son, I can be a better brother, I can be a better friend, I can be a better co-worker, you know, realistically. And some of the what makes a good therapist or psychologist or counselor or listener at the end of the day is just being a listener, really, and throwing a couple little things at you. Just here's a word for you to think about. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
You're like, damn. You know what I mean?
Like, what?
Bro, I haven't said this on the podcast before, actually. I thought I did, but I recorded an episode and then I ended up canning it because I had things come up with it. But I went and spoke to my guy once and we were breaking down relationships and like things like this. And we've been working on a couple of things for the last X amount of weeks. And then he hit me with this reality check, bro. And I was like, damn, I got daddy issues. I was like, well, he didn't say that, but I just started putting pieces together.
You started making sense, yeah. And
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like a good therapist will they won't make you anything, but like they'll help you get to the point of self-realization.
Yeah, they'll guide you to your own
guide you
answers.
to be you to be able to kind of make that realization for yourself and not be told like, all right, so this is what's going on. And be like, I didn't want to hear that from you.
I just say no, it's not.
Now that's now that's trauma. Be like, fuck, really?
No, you're gay.
Issues? Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a mad, bro. I actually highly recommend it to anyone to go speak to a professional about it.
Right,
Got a spare one over there.
Backup ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Backup balls.
Yeah. Where's my ball?
I thought I saw it on your left there.
Sweet. I actually got these from a friend of mine. So shout out Mario. Mario came and did a podcast before and I went on his and he gave me these and I went on his. So
mad.
For the gift of him giving me stress balls, every guest I've ever had on has had stress balls.
Yeah. How good is it? Like, it's just a little, I don't know, it's better than having a little fidget spinner or something, I guess, and having this little fidget.
Yeah.
Little thing just spinning.
Link in the description for Mario's podcast. Thanks, Mario.
Yeah. Cheers, Mario.
Yeah.
We had some of these actually at the studio. We got some pretty ink ones printed up by a mate of mine that's got his own little business as well, that does all sorts of branding. And yeah, they were great for the clients to just when said no, it's weird. Like you're in for a 5-hour session when you know it's that last 30 minutes. You're in for a 2-hour session. That last 30 minutes is like, but if it was a 5-hour session, you'd be able to go.
Yeah, it is. It's a bro.
Bloody humans, man. Bloody humans.
Yeah. Some of them, but I tell you what, the one on the back of my head, first minute I went, oh no.
Yeah, like what have I done?
I'm done. I'm done, bro.
Yeah.
I'm cooked. I was so exhausted after that session, dude.
And then you're getting that throat piece as well. I'm just like,
throat was a hard, but it was nowhere near like the back of the head. That was by far the hardest one. Yeah, that was
the vibration part, or like that
it was
needle
just
penetrating.
It was just the deep cut, bro, because it was thick in the middle here, where you did the spine of it, and it was just like, it just didn't end.
It just felt like it just being
the
blunt.
entire session felt like the one line being cut with a razor over and over. I couldn't feel any of the wings. I couldn't feel the base. I just felt a cut down the middle, bro, the whole time. Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
No, it's fine.
But
I asked for it.
You're a sicko like that.
In fact, you tried to tell me not to do it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I don't usually try to tell people not to get tattoos, you know. But yeah, that one I was just like.
I wanted to ask you. I got a question as well. Do you feel like you can create a judge of character of someone based on the tattoos they've asked you to get and where they asked to get them? Do you find, and not as in like a biased opinion of judgment, which to be honest is a natural thing to feel. Doesn't matter how many times I tell myself I try not to be judgmental. I can't help
We're bloody humans.
Like I actually am judgmental. I just try to correct my judgment by adding addition on top of the thing I'm already judging that person for. I honestly see someone who looks like a slob, right? An actual slob.
Yeah.
And I judge him. He's a slob.
You're like, bro.
But then I think to myself, like, well, I bet he'd be a really nice friend to play Xbox with. You know what I mean? Like, realistically,
He'd be a great online buddy.
Yeah, so that's just a little touch on the judgment. But what I'm getting at is, like, you'd also have a repetition of clientele from a what's the word I'm looking for? Like census. You have a census database now. You know what I mean? Like you've done X amount of tattoos over X amount of years.
Like, oh yeah,
for X amount of hours.
This guy, the festival guy.
Yeah,
He's the
right.
festival guy.
And then let's just say you sit down with the festival guy. A guy first comes in, he asks for Roman numerals across his chest.
No, not even. He wants to get a sleeve done because there's a festival coming up. That's the guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And then that guy wants it, but then it's not until you start tattooing him that you realize through this conversation, oh, I knew a guy from high school that was like him. I see him on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Then, you know what I mean? So it's like you have got a realistic census. So do you find that I'll let you take the lead of this conversation for us anymore. Do you feel like you can judge someone realistically?
I've kind of gotten to that point now where I'm just, I don't know. I guess I don't really kind of judge much. Like, if that's what you want, that's what you want. If anything, like I'm the guy that's making sure that you don't make shit decisions. I'll aim to guide you into making better decisions, because if you're coming into my studio and you don't have tattoos, but you've just watched a Lil Wayne film clip and all of a sudden you're just like, that guy's face tats are hectic. You know, like I want to get fear God on my eyelids. It's like, no, sorry, you're not getting fear God on your eyelids. But if you want fear God on you, maybe we could put it like I don't know, first tattoo. Maybe you can put it on your inside your, you know. Inside your underwear line there.
Yeah.
Something like that, just in case you do decide that you don't want anybody to see it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I've been tattooing for like 15 years now.
I don't even know if I'm asking the right question. You know, I'm assuming that people are thinking like me. And like, to be honest, like when I look at some people, not everyone, but let's just say I've spent a short amount of time with someone, I might get a reminder of someone else that I knew that was like that guy, maybe where they look the same or whether they say the same thing or they're interested in the same thing, and then I put them into a category of person. Does that make sense? Like that's kind of what I do. I categorize people very easily, and I find that realistically I could be right, I can be wrong, I can be shocked, can be surprised with some people, and then sometimes I'll meet someone and they fit into two categories of people, you know, like
I don't know. I don't know if I'm a weirdo or not, but like I've just been judged, and I don't like to judge. You know, like ever since I was younger, and from like being a Mauritian, I guess, and like the old wogs just always making sure or wanting to make sure that save face. You know, like don't make your family look bad. Type thing, and like I was the guy that got piercings, dyeing my hair every color every week. Yeah. You know, would wear these crazy ass outfits and be like, "What's wrong with Tez? Is he all right?" Like, yeah, I'm fine. Still the same guy. I've just got my hair just a different color, and I'm you know, so always being judged. I, if anything, look at people that are kind of slightly out of the ordinary, and I'm kind of drawn more to those people who I'm just like, you know what, good on you for being you and not being what everybody's expecting you to be. Is that kind of answer?
I know what you're saying.
Question kind of thing, because it's a shit go. I feel like it's a shit go if you're wanting to be true to you and I don't know, wanting to be true to you and how you want to express who you are. And then somebody's going to tell you that, no, you're not allowed to wear that, or, it's not that you're not allowed to wear that. But you get judged for it because it's your quirkiness.
Yeah.
I guess. Like, yeah.
I find that like the older I get, realistically, the more I really appreciate and respect someone who expresses their interests. The more, you know, like I seen a guy today, and I'm not going to give away too much actually, so I won't say exactly what I was just stalking people that I used to go to school with, right?
Yeah.
But I seen a a kid who had photos of, let's just call it fucking Pokemon, right? They were doing shit with Pokemon. That's just something similar to what they were doing. And their Instagram was full of it. And it's like, for me personally, I don't like that shit at all. I don't actually like it. But I loved the fact that he loved it.
Yeah.
And his account was on public. And he's like, this is what I like, you know? And I caught myself admiring it.
Yeah.
Because it was also from a point of like, he might be doing things that I'm not doing. You know, as like, I don't know if I'm expressing everything I truly like.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of fear of judgment maybe in some kind of ways, you know.
And that's the part that's crippling, right? Because there's going to be that next guy who'll be like, oh, what if I do this? And then somebody's going to look at me and then I don't want to be judged by that. And then I was just like, yeah, nah, I'm just going to stay in this safe lane. Yeah. And get on Valiums instead and just wander through the world because I'm not really truly being the person that I'm supposed to be because I was told, no, don't, and you can't.
No, don't, and you can't.
No, don't, and you can't. You know? Like, yeah, there's obviously, I don't know, I guess depending on your religious beliefs and whatever else, your foundational kind of values and whatever else like that, as long as you're not kind of veering too far off the path. Being able to be the true version of you. I feel like it's necessary to kind of be able to live a happy life.
Fulfilled.
Because fulfilled and a happy life. Because like trying to please, or going about life trying to please others all the time is hard to do, man. It's hard to do. You can please some people.
You can't please everyone.
No, you can't please. It's impossible.
In fact, you shouldn't even try to please anyone. Eh?
Yeah. Well, the world is becoming a very selfish world, and it's all about me, I, and my. Where, yeah, if we're here and serving others and doing things for others and looking after each other the way that we'd like to be looked after and treated, man. So we're doing it all right. I feel.
I think so too.
If you treated everybody in the world the way that you would like to be treated, doesn't matter if they're Pokemon lovers or if they're, you know, some dude with a mohawk that's walking down the street with some chains hanging off his face, you know, and you treated that just like, man, how you going? Having a chat with him or whatever, and that person was just made to be like, all right, I'm not going to be judged for looking the way that I am or being the way that I am, and then he's able to go and treat the next person that same way. You know, like, we're doing all right.
I think about that in a sense where if I try and find 100 lads that I would do anything for, realistically, like, they call me, I'm there in a heartbeat. It doesn't matter if it's for the fact that they've been kicked out of their house and they need somewhere to sleep for the night, or whether they've got themselves in trouble, or whether their car breaks down or whatever. Yeah. If I find 100 lads that I'll be there for, then in my time of, and it's like, I don't do this for this reason, but it's just for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Yeah. Realistically, no matter what goes wrong in my life, I've got 100 lads I can count on.
You've got some backup.
But that's just a reward for doing the right thing. You know, it's evident that if you do the right thing, the right thing's going to come back. You know,
being all around just a good human being.
I find that I feel like I've had more open-mindedness since doing the podcast. You know, I try and have open conversation with anyone who's willing to sit down and talk to me. Yeah. I love talking to people. Yeah. And for a long time in the beginning, it was more like begging, realistically. You know, please, bro, I got this new thing coming. Like, come do the podcast, you know? And then as I guess the numbers of mates started to go down, it just happened to be word of mouth. People were suggesting people I've never met before. And I said, yeah, come on. I wasn't interested in if people had an online presence, or if people just knew my brother wouldn't mind come doing it, or like my sister, or
interesting
anything. Just like, I just want to talk to people, like, and capture that moment realistically.
It's good, man.
But it gave me a lot more open-mindedness to breaking out of a judgmental character that I built myself to be as a sheep, as a member of a herd, as a victim of feeling judgment and to avoid judgment, fitting into a crowd to impose judgment.
And then
I was never necessarily a bully. I've never agreed to picking on people or anything along that extreme version of the argument.
Yeah.
But I guess I've naturally grown up avoiding certain things to maybe avoid judgment, which have led me to judge people out of whether it be envy or whether it be, herd mentality or whatever it might be. But the more open conversations I have, the more I feel like I am starting to understand that I have unlimited information to learn from every single human on this planet.
Yeah, bro.
So I feel like maybe my question did get asked and led in the wrong way, but you would have all walks of life come into your shop, whether it be, what's the word to describe it? Let's just say like proper beach white girls, you know what I mean, from Bondi.
Yeah.
Or whether it be like the guys you're talking about that have like mohawks or chains or whatever, or
just suits.
Crims, realistically, like ex-gangbangers, or whether it be office guys who are getting their first tattoo, or whether it be mums getting their first tattoo, or whatever.
Doctors, doctors and lawyers and all sorts. Like, man, we're all, as much as we all feel like we're separate, we're all very much the same. And like, what's kind of created more of this separation and this kind of mix up is, I feel like the last lockdowns and shit that we went through, and it's kind of created this rift between people. Man, we're better together, I reckon.
We're blessed to live in Australia, dude, because that divide is very narrow. Like that line that separates one argument side from the other, whether it be any belief, ideology, religion, right, expression, taste, whatever, that line's very blurred.
Yeah.
But like some places in the world, that line is thick. Bro. Yeah. Like in America, like it's the most split nation I've ever looked at. Red, blue, pro-gun, pro-life, pro anything, bro. You know what I mean? Like far out. Like we are lucky to live here.
Yeah, and we're still a pretty young country, I guess. Like from looking at Australia's history, to not that I'm a Australian historian or anything like that, but yeah, like Australia was discovered. I'm
gonna guess 200 years ago.
It's like I think it's about 300 years ago. Before by Captain Cook, if not anybody else that rocked up on the island before and was just like, man, this place is shit. So peace out. But yeah.
I learned recently that Captain Cook didn't just discover Australia. He discovered many places.
Yeah, I believe.
Like he discovered Alaska. Yeah. He discovered. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I thought he was our guy. You know what I mean? Like, what? We worship the Queen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Australia had a guy.
There's some history back there, bro, and like looking into it, and I'm sure there's so many things that will make so much more sense of why the way things are the way that they are.
What's cool, bro, is I was like, sorry to cut you off. I did that by accident.
You're good.
But I wanted to bring this up earlier when you mentioned meditation and journaling, which I think are two words that I use to describe spiritual people, right? Like, I think they're very spiritual because they tap into more of a belief system more than a proof system to get things started. You don't have any proof that journaling's going to do anything in your life. You just believe. And believe, I believe, is a very spiritual word because some people don't even have any form of belief. They just have structure, routine, and algorithms, realistically. And you're interested in a lot of things that I wouldn't consider many people who are spiritual to be interested in doing, like the heavy metal music, things like that. Like, because I don't know many people that are either spiritual or into that genre of music. I didn't know those two worlds combined. So, but from talking to you, you're a very, very spiritual person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say I'm kind of in touch with the spiritual side of things, and just ultimately believing that there's a higher power, man. Like there's the idea of manifestation, where you focus your energy and your attention, you'll attract more of that. And then there's ultimately, I feel there's the bigger picture. Still making sense of the bigger picture because, yeah, like I said, being brought up as a Catholic and, yeah, going to church with mum and dad and, yeah, just seeing the people at church and the way that they kind of went about life. And people are people at the end of the day. But just like, so what the priest is preaching and the conversations that we're having or I'm hearing these adults have about, oh, did you hear about this person's children? Or like, oh, did you hear about what they're doing this? And it's like gossip and all of these foundational things that the priest up there is preaching about. You guys, what are we doing? Going to church to listen to him preach about something, but then do the opposite? Meh. I'm going to go and kind of figure out my own little path.
And did you go down this path with the intention and the belief system that there was a higher power? You just wanted to find your own way there, or were you just going down your own path of more of a sense of like, I just don't feel like I'm fitting in with the way you guys think. I'm going to check out of it.
I'm going to go check out. Yeah. I'm going to check out of it and see what sense I can make of my own research that I'm doing and my own way of life by making mistakes or seeing others make mistakes and learn from their mistakes.
Like touching the stove.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, do you then, not touch the stove, or do you put mitts on now because you know that the stove's, it's hot and it can cook you and it can cook your food.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just then going into the land of like the self-help and meditation and Tony Robbins, for example, and he's an amazing human being. Been to one of his seminars or a couple of his seminars actually, and his way of guiding people on their path to be able to succeed at whatever it is that they want to do helped me get to the point of being able to open up my own studio and all of that type of thing. And then it kind of gets to the point of like, all right, so we're doing this and we're doing that, we're doing this and we're doing that and we're doing that, and I'm carrying this and I'm carrying that and I'm carrying that, and I'm just a man, you know? I'm just a man carrying all of these things, trying to do all of these things for what? Like, why? Yeah, I want to have my own business. Yeah, I'm happy that I've got my own business, and I'm happy that I'm doing what I love doing every day. Like that's all great. And then there's the stresses that come with having your own business, and then there's the stresses of being in a relationship, and then there's the stresses of like being able to fund life, and all what for? Like ultimately, yeah, the self-help train can get you to a point of being able to succeed at the ideas and the dreams and the things that you want. But are they the things that you need? Do you know what I mean? Because we can want a whole lot of shit, especially once you get on your phone and you have a little swipe through and you see, I don't know, whatever it might be. That's part of your, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up out in southwest Sydney, and I've seen a Lamborghini drive past once every 10 years.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Hang on a sec. Why are we all driving like Toyota Camrys and Ford, what would they have been? Ford Falcons and stuff back over there in those days, and how come this guy can have this? Like, what does he know that we don't? You know? So, yeah.
I'm going to put a pause in your conversation real quick and say that, just to catch me up, so you feel like you went down this self-help discovery journey, and I'm asking out of curiosity because that's definitely something that I've been on for the last X amount of years. Let's call it 2.
Yep.
And in doing so, you found yourself achieving the things that you wanted to achieve and then questioning once you achieve them, why did I want to achieve them in the first place? Or
No.
like what was the...
It almost ended up getting to the point of like, all right, so I was able to do that. Next.
Okay.
What's next?
Yeah.
What's next? And it's always like
the never-ending chase, yeah.
You know, like what's next? All right, so I've got this. But then there's that as well as the, all right, so I've got this and I've got that and I've got that now and I've got this and I've got that. And now it's the being able to balance you between your relationship, your children, your business, your finances, your friends. And then if you're going to put 20% here, 20% there, you got 5% here, you got 2% there. Just like, and now I've spread myself so thin that I've got nothing left to give. And where do I get my cup filled from? Am I going to go to my wife to get my cup filled after I've given her my 5%?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I go to my...
I get ya.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I've found that, going back to the bigger picture, going back to God, going back to source, having a relationship with Jesus, I'm still learning how to do that. I feel like there's this weird, real kind of like peace that kind of comes from prayer, and that's the meditation part that I was on the spiritual journey before, like on the meditation side of things. But now I'm reading the Bible and they're talking about meditation in the Bible too. I'm just like, all right. So yeah, being able to meditate and being at peace and being in complete silence, to be able to have this connection with source, God, to be able to have your cup filled, to be able to know from one, like what purpose you're living, or to be able to be plugged into the charger, for example, to keep on keeping on. Because like your purpose might be to go, and you might have this urge to go and help people, but you don't know how you're going to do it. You know what I mean? But like being able to meditate on it, if it's a vision that comes to you, if it's words that come to you, if it's like you being able to leave here and you're driving to work and then there's signs that come to you, or you might get a phone call of somebody that says, hey, like I've got this idea too, and that person might be the person that help you go in the direction to the purpose that you didn't know how it was going to happen, but now you're taking steps in that direction. And Tony Robbins calls it the snowball effect, right? Once you start taking steps in the direction, you're at episode 111 now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you did it. You bought your first microphone. You bought your first camera. You had that first conversation, and now look at your setup.
Just this week, it was like full circle. Someone, I put up all of my first equipment up on Facebook on Marketplace, and someone went and picked them all up this week, and I sold them to him for cheaper than I bought it for, and it was a good deal for me, good deal for him.
Yep.
The guy came and picked it up, had a quick spiel with him, gave his Instagram, and today I saw a video of the guy who uploaded his first podcast episode with the equipment.
With the setup, how good is that, dude?
It was crazy feeling.
That's a spinner, and I'm sure you probably end up having him on your podcast talking about how he's doing with his podcast at some point, and just the conversations of.
There's a snowball. That's a snowball effect, isn't it? Yeah. And did you're one of the only people I've ever met that's had a similar journey to me, to a religious tradition, where mine was a little bit different. I didn't grow up in any Christian family at all. No one in my family's religious at all. But at about 13 or something, I just got invited to church for friends. And then I found myself identifying as a Christian for, let's say, 4 years maybe or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to a point where I thought, whatever you guys are talking about ain't for me. I don't identify with what you're saying. So I'm checking myself out.
Yep.
And then I went down my own journey of like, it's all about manifesting, and it's all about like shared belief and one person, one consciousness, and and I'm finding omens, and I'm understanding following numbers, for example, or things like this. And then it kind of led me full circle back to Christianity again, to be like, this is what Christianity's talking about, bro. Like,
these are all little ideas off what the main idea is, dude. It's a spin out. Like it's spinning me right out, because at 42 years old, like, I'm coming back around to reading the Bible, understanding the Bible. Also, I've gotten to the point of going and buying myself a study Bible on the Bible app and doing my prayer every day, and then understanding like, all right, so that means that, and that's connected to that, and then this crazy link, and the beaten track that I went on was to lead me back to the actual path.
Yeah.
You know,
it was for you to do, bro.
Man, because they talk about God being the Father, and we've also been given free will, right? So he's being God the Father, not going to be like, hey, come back over here. He's being like, that's right, go.
Ultimate gift to have as a consciousness, to have free will.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's crazy, and to be honest, I can't lie, it makes me a little bit emotional, and it's weird to say it out loud, because I kind of judge it when I hear other people speak like it, but truthfully, I believe it. So the gift that God has over us to be like, whenever you want, you can come back and I can give you whatever you want.
Yeah.
And I'm also giving you the freedom to never come in contact with me again. But just so you know, whether you want me there or not, I'm still going to be doing that.
I'm here. If you want to have a conversation.
Either way, it's up to you whether you want to know I'm helping you or not.
Yeah, if you want to have that relationship with me or not. And then that's the next big scary part of what they talk about when they talk about fear God, right? Is that when if it is true, right?
Yeah. Well, that's facts. That's facts, but
yeah, if it does get to the point, right, where we go, and we're bound. It's inevitable. We're all going to die.
Yeah.
Right? And when we get to that point of going to the gates,
the judge,
the light, and we go to knock on that door and to let me in, because that looks like a really nice place over there. And then there's a verse in the Bible that says, you might knock on my door and tell me that, you know who I am, but I've never had and this is Jesus saying that, I've never had a relationship with you, so I'd like to let you in, but if you just had a relationship with me, I'd be able to let you into my house, right? And I was telling this to somebody in a analogy of like, we all know celebrities, the name of a celebrity. Say Denzel Washington. I say, you know Denzel Washington? And he'd be like, I know Denzel Washington.
I say Tony Stark, yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I know Tony Stark, you know what I mean? But if you went to knock on his door, he'd be like, hey, Tony Stark. He'd be like, what the fuck are you?
Yeah, wow.
You want to come into my house?
Nah,
you know who I am, but I don't know who you are. So,
yeah, wow.
Spin out.
That is a spin out.
So why do we want to go against this book? That's a way of being in the world, and it's not a bad way of being. It's a really good way of being, so that we can have an ultimate eternity. Why? Why do we want to go about it this way, or why do we want to go against it so much? For this. Sorry to cut you off. For these worldly pleasures?
To answer, I know it's a rhetorical question what you're asking, but I think what I believe the reason we do it for is for the same reason you can't help someone that doesn't want to help themselves. It's because you cannot tell anyone what to do. It's impossible. And I think that a lot of people are steered away from the Bible or Christianity or belief in God in general because people tell them they have to do it, right? But all people mean by saying you have to do it, coming from someone who is on that side of the fence, is that like you have to do it for your best interest.
Yeah, for
like,
your, yeah.
It has nothing to do with me. God doesn't even need you, bro. Trust me. You need him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like,
100%.
and that's why, and I've never liked it, the fact that you can't help someone that doesn't want to help themselves. But what I learned recently is that you can help someone that doesn't want to help themselves if you be the best version of yourself, because then you set example for them to want to be like you.
Yes,
and then they're making their own choice.
Be the change that you want to see in the world, right?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to change people, change you.
Yeah, and that will fix the friend who's spiraling out of control. It will help the junkies who are just destroying their lives. Like, because if you are setting example for someone who's not only doing achievable great things, but it's also relatable to them in the same time. If you did the same, if humans, myself included, did the same thing with faith and belief and biblical references and Christ and all these things too, and we didn't Bible bash, because that's a term used to describe what people do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
it'll make people go, oh, what is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm choosing to be curious. You're not enforcing doctrine onto me, you know? And that, I think that's why people get steered away from it, because 100%. I do it. I can't help. I do my best not to, but it's like I can't help but wanting to be like, trust me, bro.
All you need to do is this, right? And this is part of the reason why I started doing that study, right? Because it's learning those skills of being able to listen and not have to try to tell people. It's just like, all you need to do, you know how you want to quit smoking, right? All you need to do is just don't put a cigarette in your mouth. Chuck the fucking ciggies in the bin and you'll stop smoking. Yeah, but I want one. Yeah, but all you need to do is just don't put one in your mouth.
Yeah. You just need to not want one. How hard is it?
How hard is it? Just don't put a cigarette in your mouth.
You know how you want to have one? Want to not have one.
I feel like everybody's going to kind of hit their little rock bottom themselves, that little self-realization. You know, like, all right, so I know that I don't want to be there because that is the pit. Like, I feel like complete rubbish. Now is when I make the change. You know, Macca's drive-through, not going there, waking up tomorrow morning, I'm going to cook myself some scrambled eggs with butter and beef fat.
Hey, shout out to Del.
Yeah, Del. What's going on? Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, stuff like that. And then they'll start feeling good. And it's probably going to be that that person makes that shift and that change and they start feeling good for 3 weeks. And then now that they feel good, it'll be like, yeah, I feel mad. I'm going to have a ciggy. I reckon I feel good now. I'm just going to have a quick ciggy. And the old pattern starts to, that virus starts to come back in and overtake that new program that they're trying to install in their body.
I like that metaphor. Yeah,
so this new program that you're trying to install, the old virus has been already just intoxicating that whole computer system that we call our consciousness, our bodies, you know, until that virus needs to get put through the cleanup again. And then you might be able to go through that whole process of shift and change for 6 months this time. And then some old habits might come back, but they might not stick around for that much longer. And then next round, it's a whole year.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just rounds.
It's the rounds because, but once we feel, it's weird because as humans, I know myself, once I feel good, I'm going to say this shit out loud. I'll let myself get to the point of feeling like just complete rubbish for I don't know what reason. I'm so hard on myself and whatever else. And then I'm just like, all right, you're about to lose everything. Get your shit together. You know? Get your shit together. Wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, do my prayer, go for a run, do my yoga, wake up and cook breakfast for my family, hug my wife, give her a kiss, you know, say nice things.
Yeah.
You know, because
it's addicting, but feeling bad's actually addicting. I noticed that this year. I noticed that being a gambling addict. I had to cut gambling out a long time ago, but I identified the fact that when I started to lose, I got addicted to that feeling of sabotage, bro. Like,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
all of a sudden it's like that initial reaction of just the initial thought of putting in $50 is now 1,000, dude. Because
Yeah,
fuck
'cause
it.
let me see.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
Yeah,
addicting,
like,
bro.
I've lost it all already before, so like, what's the point?
Like once you have junk food for breakfast, you will have it for lunch and dinner.
Yeah,
Like because you've already done it. It's addicting. You want to
Yeah.
keep doing it. It's not even the junk food that's addicting. It's the sabotage, bro.
It is, right?
Yeah. But you know what's cool I find about the Bible anyway? I know we're taking a big chunk of the podcast about this stuff,
No,
but
it's good.
I
Hopefully it
think
gets the word out to everybody that needs and wants to hear about it. Like, yeah.
I think that there's a lot of different things that are merged together in the ideology of what I believe Christianity might be. And Christ, to me, is separate from the Bible, and the Bible and Christ are both separate from God. Like, I know this might not be traditionally what some people think. It might even be written down differently in the Bible. I don't know it cover to cover, but
Yeah.
I think that, to me, the most important thing to gain out of the Bible is a set of rules in order to live your life by, right? And I don't necessarily agree with the fact that they are the only rules in which you have to follow, but the fact that you believe that they are the only rules you have to follow is what makes it important. You know what I mean? Like, I think that what it teaches people is discipline to things that you have to do.
Yeah.
Like, be grateful, be kind to thy neighbor, like, say your prayers, blah, blah, blah. And then there's things that you can't do. Like, you know, you can't... I can't
you
think
shouldn't.
of one thing that
You
you shouldn't
do.
Yeah, you shouldn't do. I can't
You
think
shouldn't
of...
do, because you can do them, but this is what the consequence is going to be.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Yeah, it might be like judge others, or it
Yeah.
might be like steal, or it might be like murder, any of these things.
Yeah.
Out of cold blood or whatever. Like, these are things that people have to live their life by as a metaphor, and if you start practicing these, you'll use a rippling snowball effect to start implying them into your own life. Like, you have to wake up early every day. You have to look after your health. You have to eat fruit every day. You have to do this. You can't do drugs. You can't do crack. You can't eat junk food.
But if you think about it, like, it doesn't have to be a have to. It's a way of being. You get to live this way on this earth that God made for us to be able to have fruitful lives and be able to just be happy and not have to live in sickness, pain, and suffering, because Jesus already came and suffered for all of us, type of thing.
And you know what I was thinking about today too is I was thinking about the fact that I think it's a very powerful thing to believe in Christ, whether you physically believe in everything the Bible says, whether you believe that he was the Son of God, whether you're more like an Islamic faith, whether you just believe he was a prophet and he walked this earth and the miracles he performed were real miracles, like whatever you believe, the fact that you believe and you pray to Christ, like, I imagine it like a football club. If you've ever gone to a football game, let's just call it the Western Sydney Wanderers, and you've been a part of that chanting crowd, that aura, that atmosphere, that camaraderie, right?
Yeah, the energy that
you can see it and you can feel it, but what you're seeing and feeling is a shared mindset, and that's a powerful thing to witness. So it must be a powerful thing energetically in the aura, in the atmosphere. For so many people, for thousands of years, to all have this belief system in Christ, you can't see it because you're not a part of it. It's just spread out across the planet.
Spread out worldwide,
you're a part of a powerful thing that has literally helped shape and guide humans for thousands and thousands of years, spread out across hundreds of thousands of square meterage, bro. Like
miles, meterage, kilometers.
It's crazy to think that, like, you can be a part of something so strong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's undeniable.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing stuff. I'm only freshly back into going back into Christianity and having a relationship with God since probably the beginning of the year, when it was just like the life literally just felt like it was all falling apart, and I'm just like, I don't have this. As much as I think I've got it, I don't have it, man. So I'm just like, I'm coming back, and please God, just
sorry.
Show me the light, please, man. Because the darkness is a place that I'm well familiar with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to see the light is, it's necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary to be able to have a happy life, bro.
I definitely know that feeling. Every time I come back to a moment of like, damn, I'm not feeling good right now. Like, let me just use my superpower that I carry in my pocket that literally, if everyone knew, they'd be so much better of.
Yeah.
Prayer.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right.
It's a superpower. It will fix everything.
It will.
It's
it
crazy
literally will.
that people don't take advantage of the fact that they're literally Superman. You know?
Crazy.
And my initial reaction is like, oh, let me quickly open up this Superman book, and then I go, I'm so sorry. I haven't been reading this book. Like, please forgive me. I hope you're still
we've got
listening.
Superman. Yeah, we've got Superman as our father. You know?
Please, I know I should have been listening this whole time. I know I could have been doing better. Please forgive me. Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, we are forgiven.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm gonna steer this conversation away a little bit because I am curious as well. You've had a new chapter in your life, being a father, and I want to know in realistic words, what has the experience been like?
It's been I've been a stepfather for about 4 years now. My stepson Noah. And
boss name.
Yeah.
I like that name.
Yeah, he's a dude. He's a dude. So yeah, being a father to my own son, Kyson.
I didn't know you had a son. I thought you had a daughter.
No, I've got a son. I've got 2 boys. So yeah, Kyson is two and a bit. The biggest spin out, man. Like,
when is he 2 and a bit?
2 and a bit. So
what the hell? When was the last time I got a tattoo, bro? I thought when I got a tattoo, it would have been almost 6 months ago, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe more.
Not more.
Maybe 9 months.
Yeah. But yeah, he's man. He's from this being this little blob to like having a little character to now just walking and talking and like conversations, man. Like, it's weird. Like, he knows everything, wants to know everything, like questioning things. They're like, oh, so daddy, what's that? Daddy, what's this? What's this called? What's that called? And I'm like, bruh, that's mad. Like, mad. You're not just a little blob that's just bumping into walls and just giving it a solid.
Yeah.
He wants to know, and it's one of the hardest things. And I'm sure anybody that you speak to that has children will probably tell you that, like from the loss of sleep early days to the sanity lost because of the loss of sleep and being able to keep this little human being alive, you know, to then seeing them being able to develop into their own little person. It's so rewarding. And it's tough because I'm still my parents' child, you know? So bringing this little human being into the world, like, I don't own him at all. Like, he's his own little being. I'm just guiding him in the world. And he will always be my child, you know? Like, even when I'm 80.
Yeah.
I'm 80 years old.
That's only a couple years away, dude.
Bro, you know? It's a midlife crisis I'm going through right now. Yeah, that's what's happening. But yeah, he will literally always be my son. Like, whatever he goes through, from good to bad to makeups to breakups to, like, I've had some shit go down with in my relationship, and I went to my parents, you know, like, I went to my parents for advice and guidance. And yeah,
I do the same thing, bro.
You know?
I go to my mum. It doesn't matter how prideful I get as a man, realistically. I'm 26, and it's hard to remind myself sometimes that I'm grown, bro. You know, that's crazy to me. Like, I know from your perspective, like if you're older than me, like and like everyone, all my mates that are older than me, they still look at me like I'm a kid. I know they do, but
no, but
I have to remind myself I'm 26.
That's good.
No, that's crazy to me to think. But I go to my mom sometimes, bro.
You're well switched on though. 26 years old, you're well switched on. You're doing life, and you're making a difference. You know.
I appreciate that. I definitely don't feel that.
Of course you don't, because you're a creative, and creative people are always the hardest on. We're always the hardest on ourselves because there's always more to do.
Yeah.
So don't be so hard on yourself, man. It's not worth it. And that's easier said than done, because those are just words that are spoken. And then once you finish this podcast, you've got shit to do. You know?
Yeah. What do you mean? I got to turn the lights off, bro.
Yeah, turn the lights off.
Leave this sign on.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like that you said that he's always going to be your son, but you don't own him. He's there to live his life, and you're just there to guide him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I heard a quote once that said, as a parent, you have to remember that your kid's steering the vehicle. You're just in the passenger seat to grab a hold of it when he's about to veer into an oncoming truck.
Yeah, he's going to go into, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I've always thought, man, bringing a child into the world. Like, what do I have to offer this little person? You know, like, there's enough people on the planet. There's enough people on the planet. Like, why am I going to bring somebody into the world? So, yeah, like, I can start a family with my wife, so that we can guide this little person into the world, and hopefully this person that we brought into the world adds value to the world.
I'll tell you why you should always have done it, dude, because you create. That's what you do. Yeah. You're a creative.
I do create. Lately been a bit stale though, but I'll find my mojo back. On an art side of things, especially like I want to get back into my painting and my drawing and stuff like that. And then I'll look at my calendar and then see all of the clients that I need to draw up tattoos for and whatever else. And I'm just like, I don't have time to do shit for myself. I've got to do shit for this person, that person, that person, that person, these people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
And then they go in for the studio and like, hey, I mocked this up for you, and it's a painting.
Yeah. Just like, this is what we're tattooing today. This artwork, this painting. Yeah. I wish. But you know what? You saying that is, you get people that, or I've had clients that would come in and have a full consultation about a sleeve that they want to get of like Jesus, Mary, the Stations of the Cross and praying hands and rosary beads and blah blah blah, and I'd spend a whole weekend, early days especially. I've learnt my lesson well, but yeah, early days I'd spend the whole weekend and design these ultimate artworks, like no one else's sleeve that they've ever seen before. Come in to their tattoo session and they're like, oh, I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind and I want to get like a dragon.
I want to get the devil.
You know what I mean? I want to get this dragon coming up over my shoulder onto my chest with koi fish swimming upstream, splashing up out of the water with cherry blossoms. And I'm like, it's got nothing to do with your original idea.
I want to get a Jesus thing and they come back. I don't believe in shit.
Shit. Yeah, man. It's, Oh, the ultimate no-shows. Yeah. The ultimate no-shows, bro.
That's why there's a deposit now, eh?
Yeah, that's why there's a deposit. We're especially working over in Maryland. Man, the promises, the empty promises.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's mad. Yeah, we'll do it. Oh, that's sick. Oh, how'd you even come up with that idea, bro? That's mad. I want it. Let's do it. Book me in.
They just back out.
What? So pumped. Dude, you were so pumped for that tattoo. Why aren't you answering your phone?
That's crazy.
You're not answering your phone all day long.
Dude, I get so pumped to come to the tattoo studio. I can't imagine people pulling out.
Yeah.
Dude, I've showed up on days when I'm not even meant to be there yet. And you're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm not today. Remember the time I came in? I came in once. I don't know if you remember this. I came in once. Yeah, it's my tattoo day. You said, no, it's not. It's this day. I said, oh. And then I came back again. It wasn't even my day yet.
And it wasn't your day yet still. I'm like, fuck. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been the last one to cancel on you. I was there's been like I said, there's been this really rough patch on the tattooing side of things for me lately. Sorry, everybody that's been wanting to get tattooed by me, and I've had to deal with my rough patch.
Yeah.
It's a tough gig.
It's human, but.
Tough gig, mate.
Yeah, it's human, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel too bad, bro.
I do feel bad though, because like there's an expectation from people, and yeah, like I want to be able to kind of meet that expectation from people, and as well as there's an expectation from me too. So I need to make sure that my standard of being is pretty fucking high, and it can be exhausting.
I bet.
It could be exhausting, bro. It can be exhausting. So,
well, it's also cool, bro, that you I consider what you're doing full time to be a very, very creative pursuit. But then hearing you speak, you're like, but I want, I do love it. I love the feeling of being able to give someone something so permanent on their body that they love. But you're also thinking to yourself, like, I also want to be creative, you know what I mean? At the same time, outside of that, which is, I hear it, I'm like, fuck, you're already doing so much creation, bro. Like, if you had the time, what's some more things that you would like to spend being expressive?
Well, I've worked on a creative side of things. I've created my own little side hustle. I've got my own little business. I've put it on the back burner for the moment. Like I said, little man and married life is taking up a lot of my sanity time. So the little side hustle that I've had, I've put on hold is a little tattoo supply business.
And that's just providing is that ink and needles,
providing
and
just
things like
more
this?
of the consumables, like tattoo needles. I've got my own brand of tattoo needles, called On Point Tattoo Needles, I was doing my own screen printing and branding of clothing, 111 apparel, and what else? I'd love to be able to write a book.
Yeah, that's on my back burner too. Yeah.
I'd love to write a book, and I could see that I will at some point, and I don't know if I should just start just writing. I journal plenty, and I think that probably will end up kind of being the book that I end up writing, and just going through that and stripping it back into chapters of maybe just a journey.
Would it be more of a fiction, would it be told more like a story of? Have you read The Alchemist? You ever heard of that book, The Alchemist?
I have heard of that book.
It's my favorite book.
I haven't read it.
Read that. It's unbelievable. It's the only book I've ever read it's fiction. Fiction means fake, right? Does that mean fiction? Or is that non-fiction?
Fake. Yeah, non-fiction means not.
Yeah, well, it's a fiction book, and it's about a journey of self-discovery. It's sold 100 million copies worldwide. And that's how that book. Would it be more like that? Would it be more like a autobiography? Would it be more like not autobiography, but along that journey of this is what I've gathered?
I feel like it would be a bit of a book on just the journey of life, and from where you might think that it's going to where it does go and beyond. Something along them lines.
That'd be sick, bro. I'd get to work on that. Yeah. A book would be mad.
A book would be cool. A book would be cool.
Yeah.
I've always kind of, even being a young child, I've always kind of visualized myself to be like this wise old man.
Yeah.
And then like having my children come and sit on my lap and they'd be like, oh, so why? And what about, when you were, and me being able to have the answers to the questions, you know what I mean? A wise old man. Don't know if that's going to happen. But
it's always going to be grandchildren, but it'll never be children.
Yeah, it won't be your children.
It'll always be grandchildren. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be bold for sure. Hoping that I have some type of long beard, at least I could stroke and be like, yeah, so when I was a young whippersnapper.
No, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. I'm excited for everything, bro. I'm glad that your young bloke's taking up a lot of your time, and your wife and your stepson Noah as well. Like,
Yep.
you're doing what everyone realistically wants to be doing, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone my age, especially, we're just working towards to get to that, bro. That's our next chapter,
Yeah.
I hear about that chapter. I'm like, that's beaming my existence.
Trust me, it's amazing. It's very difficult at the same time. And I feel like part of the reason why I always said that I'd never get married and I wouldn't have children is because I was very selfish with my time. And yeah, even as a grown-ass adult, I am pretty still selfish with my time. And that was part of my struggle, is looking at what I'm doing. And I'm like, I didn't get any fucking time to myself. What about me? What about my time?
Yeah.
And it's just an undoing that needs to, a realization and an undoing that just needs to happen to realize that, hang on a sec, I get to do this with my children, and I get to do this with my wife, and I get to do this, and I get to have a happy, healthy family,
And do you have, I'm asking definitely from a place of personal curiosity now, like, do you find that now experiencing that is giving you the realization of I get to do it, as opposed to having to, you have to train yourself to think like that before this? Or is it now that you're experiencing this, you realizing, oh, I get to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now is a realization. It got to the point of like I'm just having to drive to school here, pick up from daycare there, and like have to get to the studio, tattoo my client, finish up to get home, and I'm just like, and life was just like this chaos, bro. It's not even yumcha chaos, where it's organized chaos. It was just chaos, and I'm like, all of the things that I'm doing are shit that I have to do, not things that I want to do. It's all the things that I have to do, because I've chosen to bring a kid into the world, chosen to be married, chosen to this, and
you've built the obligation.
Yeah, man, and I love it, but it just hasn't been a walk in the park.
Yeah.
Hasn't been a walk in the park, and it's been testing, right? And I'm going to go back to the Bible for a second, because testing in the Bible, right, it takes it back to the Greek meaning to kind of purify, right? So gold, for example, has all sorts of impurities in it, but it gets tested by being under so much heat, and all the impurities get cooked out of it and separate. And for you to have pure 24 karat gold, it needs to go through so much testing, right? And now you have this pure gold, and this pure gold is now soft and pliable, softer than it was when it had all of these extra metals in there and shit. So this is what I'm going through at the moment. This is what I'm realizing, is that I'm being tested to see like how much of all of the excess things from my past are kind of cooked out of me, so that I can be softer and more pure, and being able to be what I'm actually supposed to be instead of what I was before.
I hear people say lately that if you were to create an idealistic man, a warrior, if you were to create a capable soldier, would you give him adversity or would you give him comfort? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd obviously give him adversity.
Yeah.
Because then he's going to become a man. You know what I mean?
And this is what I'm talking to my 7-year-old about, is just like, dude, we need to be able to do what's hard first. Because if you do all of the easy things now, when things get hard, you're not going to know what to do. So yeah, we do need to learn how to tie our shoelaces because that's what's hard for you right now, right? And this is what your heart is right now, tying shoelaces. But I just want to put the slip-on Velcro ones. I don't have the laces on that.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many other things in the world that are going to be so much harder than these tying of shoelaces.
Yeah.
Let's learn how to tie loose shoelaces. Trust me.
Yeah. It's always my goal to do the hardest thing first, dude. If I'm at work and I have to undo 6 bolts, I don't care if they're all here. I go, this is the furthest one. And I work my way down to the bottom. If I had to screw 8 things here and 8 things here, I went, let's start with this one.
Do what's hard.
And then the last one's right here, bro.
Yeah, that's right there. You'd be like, I went through
everything's like that.
We went through all the hardest ones first, right? So yeah, we do. And if we live this life of like being put in this safe little bubble, the outcome when things get difficult is just crumble.
I felt comfort hearing the fact that you find, and you have found definitely in the past, and it's become a lot easier to find the understanding that you get to do these things, because every girlfriend I've ever had, every relationship in general, every job, not every creative pursuit, but everything that becomes an obligation because of my creative endeavors, like I can't lie, I've even been in a position where like I've been like my partners have had children and I've been helping raise and guide them, and it's like I've always thought I have to do this. Like everything I do has a timeline on it.
Yeah.
Every time I hang out with a girl, if it's a first date or if it's been 2 years we're into a relationship, there's like when's this job done so I can get to the next job.
So I've got to get to the next thing.
You know what I mean? There's a 1 hour window for this. You know what I mean? There's never a freedom in presence. Realistically, it's something that I've tried to be conscious and learn. But I got to be honest, bro. I just haven't found anything that I want to be present in. The only thing I ever really truly want to be present in is this. I promise you, this is something that I love being present in.
Of course.
I do have to have a time, and we are going to get to the end of it very shortly. But just because it fits a window in which the internet provides, you know.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
But it's something that I would realistically do for 10 hours every time.
Sit down
every time.
Back to back, you know, like have chats back to back to back to back. And you're a good talker, bro. You've got a good brain in your head, and you've got a way about you, and I think you're onto something here. And yeah, having somebody that you can share life with that appreciates you for you and what you do, and not and being supportive, I think it's gonna what's the word I'm looking for? It's gonna boost you up and add more value to your life, man. So be mindful of who it is that you add to your life.
Yeah,
for sure.
I will definitely choose wisely. And I was thinking for a long time that person that people speak of that's there to support you is not the same thing in which I've found in the past. And I'm sorry to say this for anyone listening, because there are a lot of people who listen that are have been in my personal life, but a fan is not a supporter. No. You know, I've dated girls in the past and they're fans.
Yeah.
You know, it's different because like people say you want to have someone to come along with you for the journey, but you can't just come along for you have to understand what the journey realistically is. Yeah. The journey is something that is taking up time and energy and resources and effort and passion.
And ultimately, if that person that you add to your life also has their own personal kind of wants and, you know, has their own drive to succeed in something that they're doing, I think that will take the pressure off you in needing to fulfill their need. Yeah, I guess. But we all have needs.
Well, that's definitely something that I've always felt like. Yeah. I've felt like a pursuit more than an addition. You know what I mean? Like I've never felt like the person that I'm with has their podcast.
If it's their podcast, creative expression. If it's their their own
Has
little
their-
business that they're doing, or
Has their Noah's Ark, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's something that I'm definitely open to find, but not in realistically any need
yeah,
for.
you've got
Fuck it, I'm
like,
so-
yeah, it's nice to share life with somebody, but yeah, I feel like you're dedicated. You've got a lot of time dedicated into what you're doing here, man, and you're doing it well. You'll know when the time's right. You know when the time's right. And it's only fair for you to bring somebody into your life when you actually got the time to give to that person. And there's a book that I've just been listening to, talking about the love languages. Have you?
I've got. Is it called Five
The
Love
five love-
Language?
five love
I've got it. I
languages?
haven't started it yet.
Bro, get onto that.
And you know what
It's-
sucks? I just bought last week or the week before. I bought 9 books, and that was meant to be the next one I read, and I'm not getting to it.
And you're not? No, do yourself a favor, dude. Do yourself a favor.
All right,
Get
I'll
on,
do it.
get
next.
onto it. Get into it. It will shine some light on the next part. It will get you to look back on past relationships, reanalyze those relationships, what those love languages were, what your love language is, even if you already kind of know what works for you. If it's somebody giving you their time, if it's somebody physically touching you, if it's somebody buying you gifts or whatever it is. But yeah, dude, it's I feel like if you're going to be in a relationship, knowing what somebody's love language is, so that you can practice that instead of giving
Them
to
my
them
love
what your love
language,
language is,
yeah.
and then just like, but I don't need that. I don't need that handbag. All I wanted was you to just sit down with me for 15 minutes and have a conversation to see how my day was. You're
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. That would have saved me $2,000.
Yeah. All right, I'll get to that next. I have 2 more things I want to ask you, Des, before we wrap it up.
Ask me, brother.
The first one is
Sorry.
the last one I'm going to ask you is going to be the same question that I do ask everyone at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
But the question I want to ask before that is something that's a bit more personalized towards you, based on my life as well, and that's being someone who is in constant pursuit of more, and more doesn't necessarily mean absorption. More is more of expression. You know, I've gathered from your interests and the things that you are, you know, drawn towards. You like to create. We've used the word create a lot. You know, whether it be
Yeah,
painting or singing or tattooing or journaling or anything like this. Like you clearly have the bug that I have. I'm in constant need to put more out into the universe. And it's one of the reasons why I started the podcast. It was like, I found myself consuming so much of it that I just wanted to be able to contribute back to the same machine I was consuming from, you know? And there's a couple of things in my life now that I want to be able to start creating, but I'm struggling to give myself the time. I don't know if it's an excuse. I don't know if life really is too busy. I'm starting to wear on me thinking I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to pick this thing up, you know? How do you navigate that feeling of being busy and also wanting to give yourself that time that you say you're always trying to give yourself at the same time, you know?
Yeah, well, I took on a life coach a little while back when my life was going in one direction, and as much as I thought that that's where it was going, it ended up going in a completely different direction. And then instead of me just kind of giving it a go, I took on a life coach, and the life coach asked me my whys. Why do I do what I do, and like what for? What for? And then being able to break down that what for and when you're going to do it. All right. So start scheduling time in to your calendar, because when you're scheduling time in your calendar, you know that's exactly what's happening. So you know tomorrow morning you're waking up, you're going to work between that time and that time, and there's not really anything else that you can do in that time other than go to work. So when you've got the time on either side of it, dedicate your time to it and just do it. And that's the way that it's going to get done. Otherwise, procrastination is ultimate. It's something that we practice a whole lot more. Procrastination and distraction. You know, the time that you can kind of scroll around on social media, catch up with them, and that's all right. Like, if you're going to catch up with a mate or whatever and all of that type of thing, but is that going to help you get to this goal that you want to be able to achieve? Like, you just need to be that strict with yourself, like how strict you are with what you're eating now, and going to the gym and being strict on like spending an hour at the gym or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
That's the only ultimate way, I guess, that you're going to achieve what you want, is by
scheduling it
in.
Yeah.
Use Google Calendars, bro.
Yeah. I think I might just do that, to be honest. That's a clearly obvious answer that I should have got to.
Like,
but
yeah, you know, the majority of the time, you know the answers to all. Yeah, you're a smart person, man. Majority of the time, we already know the answers to these. Like, we just want, if somebody else is gonna say it, so that we can think like, oh yeah, fuck, I was thinking that, so I am right. What it is that I need to do to be able to, to achieve what it is, because bro, like, you've got it set up here already, and this didn't just happen overnight.
No, I definitely didn't.
You had a vision. Think about if you closed your eyes and you visualized what you want this layout to be like, the colors, from the color scheme to the setup to how you wanted things to be. Like, it didn't just happen. It was a vision that you had.
Yeah, it's crazy because it actually really was, dude. I sat in this room, it was bare empty.
Yeah.
And I imagined it to look exactly like this, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% you did,
exactly
man.
like this.
I had a meeting with my mate that was my shop manager at the studio once upon a time, and he came in and helped us out with the studio just before we went into lockdown, and the studio was extended at that point into four chairs, but before that, the studio was split in half. There was 2 chairs at the back, and then there was a sitting area at the front. And during my time with my life coach, I drew up in my sketchbook the layout of what I want my tattoo studio to be like. Didn't have a tattoo studio yet.
Yeah.
2 years into having Pretty in Ink, had this meeting with my mate, and I took my notebook, so we we're going to have a chat about some things because he was going to manage my studio. And I was flicking through my notebook, and I saw the sketch of the layout of what the studio is like now after the renovations, that I didn't kind of go back into or anything. Like, it was just that.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest spin out, man. There's
That's
almost like no
beautiful,
words to explain it, but we just explained it because, like, what you put your attention into, what you visualize, what you want, if it does come to be, then it's meant to be. If it doesn't, it's going to be better because that's what it was supposed to be. Not because you made it happen, because there's a bigger plan, man.
It was meant to happen through you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's mad, bro. I love the fact that life really does work that way, dude. If you imagine it and you work towards it, you're going to get it. Like, it's
you're going to get
inevitable.
If you don't get it, you will get something better than that, because that is the way that it's supposed to be. The snowball.
Yeah.
Bro. So like I'm saying, like, you know what you need to do, and it can also, I feel, it can also be crippling being somebody that has a want for more, not a greedy want for more, but knowing that you are here for more because you've already done so much to be able to get this to this point, and you know how hard that was, and now there's the next part now.
Yeah.
And that's hard to kind of either take the steps towards doing, or see how it's going to happen. But same deal. Take steps in that direction, and the snowball keeps on
Yeah, but I tell you what I won't do. I won't do any of my other creative pursuits and compare them to what I've built the podcast to be today, because I know the podcast today is something that I've built over a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
In truth, I've gotten to a point now where this is no longer enough and I want more. But when I was building this to get it to where it is, then I was completely fulfilled, dude. Like I was fulfilled in the process of creating it up until the point, until I went, I need more. So it's like, I won't compare it to what this is now. I'll compare it to what it was when it started.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the thing I'm going to enjoy, building something again, you know, like.
Well, yeah, be careful of what your actual want is your want kind of creating something like this and then moving on from it because you like the creative process of like from a blank slate to then making it get to this point. And gratitude is a big deal, bro.
Yeah.
Gratitude and being grateful, because you know how many other people would be like thinking about how they're going to maybe do small videos about how you put your podcast together, what your setup's like, you know, and help others that are wanting to create podcasts set up this little mini studios from where you had it to where you have it. Like I'm sure Joe Rogan or any of the other big podcasters had started just chatting from their computer, Zoom calls or whatever it was, to now sitting in an ultimate studio with somebody as their backup going like, oh yeah, just bring up that clip. Oh, yeah, that's mad, you know, like go into that reference real quick, but like with whatever conversation that we're having. Yeah. You know, so it's I guess at the end of the day, sky's the limit. And like I said to you before, man, like move all of your things out of the way here, and it's a good little spot for you to kill the lights, keep your little Doxcast logo up there, and just stare at it. Just stare at it for long enough. I don't know, it might sound crazy, but you'll see what the next part of your journey is. And I will. It's going to be amazing, bro.
Oh, bro, give me the motivation I need. Well, I tell you what, you've led me into the last question, all right? It's unfortunate that I have to ask it. I hate having to ask it because it tells me it's the end of the episode, but like, truthfully speaking, dude, I would love to be able to do a part 2 on whenever you're ready to do another episode in the future, all right?
Of course, whether it be I'm down.
Episode 222,
whenever you
1111.
Yeah, 1111. Yes, sir. Yeah. That could happen quicker than you think. The way you're going about it, mate. No, I truly think that you're onto something good here, dude. You've got a good way about you. You've got a good brain in your head. You're well spoken. You ask good questions that are open ended and you're able to kind of see where the direction of the conversation's going, and I think you.
No, I appreciate it.
Better than you think you are, mate.
I appreciate that, dude. I just ask questions that I honestly want to hear from you. That's the truth.
It's good. You're very intuitive, so.
Thank you, bro. Well, the final question is in relation to something that we have spoke about a couple of times throughout the episode, and it's something that I feel like it's an important thing for me to ask. Now, everyone has a different answer for it. There is no right or wrong answer. I just want to know from your perspective that if someone came to you because they were feeling depressed, mostly because they were just lost, what advice would you give them?
Wow. Lost. Feeling depressed and lost. I'd ask them probably what they have for breakfast. No, I'm joking. It's like, so what's your breakfast like? What's your sleep like? All of those diet things as well, I feel like they lead to if you feel good in your gut, you can think good, and it will ultimately kind of help you make good decisions in life. Who you surround yourself with. Do you surround yourself with good people that are lifter-uppers? Or are you surrounded with misery, loves company type people, you know, where everyone's just like, oh, yeah, let's bitch and whinge and complain, but not actually make a shift and a change, like be the change. Depression, when you're depressed, when you're not lifted up, what are you thinking about? Like, what are you depressed about? Think about what it is that's making you depressed, and try to shift the focus on to what's good, what's good in your life, instead of looking at all of the things that aren't. If that's what your thought process is like, oh, I wish I could have that, and I wish I could do this, and you're probably well capable of doing all of those things. You just need to take steps in those directions to be able to let the snowball become what it is. And that can be another thing, is that people have a fear of success as well, like not knowing how to manage the monster when it becomes the monster,
Yeah, someone said to me once that they think the reason why most people aren't millionaires is because subconsciously they know the amount of effort it's going to take to become one. And I'm like, fuck, that was heavy, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fear of success.
The fear of success, or even if you create something that gets to the point of like it's bigger than you could have imagined, and you need to now bring people on board to help you out, and there's that kind of identity crisis, and be like, hang on a sec, is this actually really happening? Am I that guy now? Like, I've got to hire people to work with me. Fuck, I don't know how to do that. I've never done that before. No one in my family's done that before. Who do I speak to about doing that? Like, do I have to hire somebody to speak to help me get to this next part? Because I can see it, but I don't know how to get there. Or maybe go to your local church and speak to some people there. See what the community is like there. Take on a therapist. Be able to have a conversation with somebody that's not in your friends group or your family circle, that can listen to what you have to speak about, and kind of guide you in a better way of life. Yeah,
I love that. Go to a church. Yeah, because that's a community, realistically.
Yeah, they are.
And it's a community that's going to accept you.
100%, because everybody
Unless
that goes to...
unless you don't want to be there anyway. Like, if they don't accept you, that's not the right community.
That's not the right community. And at the same time, like, there's a lot of... Man, the people that go to church are broken people, man. Like, everybody's going to this place to kind of... to find a community and to kind of build a relationship with God, because you almost got to your final straw, I know I got to my final straw.
Yeah.
I need to be around good people, because I know what it's like to not be around, have my own negativity fueled by more negativity, And as much as I'm a positive person, like, I can get into some dark places too. So, meditation, prayer, community, and diet. I feel like if you can kind of hone in on those things there, and get them to the best that they can be. And as much as you think Macca's drive-through on the way to work in the morning because you're running late, and now, you've got Macca's in you. And now
unless it's just to get an ice long black like me every day.
Ice long black. That'll do. But yeah.
Yeah, it was a great answer, dude. It was a perfect answer. I couldn't ask for a better answer. I couldn't have asked for a better episode. I couldn't have asked for a better guest. I got to be honest with you, Tez. I can't ask for a better tattoo artist. Every piece I get means a lot. It's always something that I go in with an intention to get, without a imagination to what it is actually going to be like, you know, like I just have an idea. I'm like, bro, cook, you know what I mean? You know, and
use some beef fat. Use some beef fat in them scrambled eggs, man. Make it good. Make it good.
Yeah. And man, I'm going to recommend, and I have been recommended, anyone that ever needs a tattoo, I always suggest Pretty in Ink in Ride. Is it Top Ride or Ride?
West Ride. West Ride, yeah.
West Ride, all right. There is a link in the description for everyone listening who wants to go check it out, to the Instagram and the website. And yeah, man, I think it's been a blessing meeting you from the first time I walked into the studio. I guarantee it's been a blessing for many people who have stepped into the studio since.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm very grateful I've done it, because I haven't just gained things that I can carry around for the rest of my life with, but I've gained a friend in doing so.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you coming and giving me the episode after that as well.
Man, I appreciate you having me on the Doxcast, and yeah, appreciate you as a friend and as a continuing client that comes in and gets some tricky tattoos.
The next one's gonna be the next one. I'm sorry, bro. It's bad.
It's bad. What it means is gonna be good. So dude, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Nah, I appreciate it, man.
Keep on doing your thing, and you're doing it well, dude.
Nah, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. For everyone listening, thank you for making it to the end of the episode as well. It was an amazing amazing week this week. As you know, it'll be an amazing week next week. That's a wrap.
Yep, it's a wrap. Gang, gang. Well, dude.